Hello collectors, I'm Real Talk Yorkshire and today we're going to be doing my top 10 films of the 1940s and we've got some really good films. I mean, when I did my top 50s films, I thought that was a really good selection of films. This time we might have just outdone it, I'm not sure, but yeah, there's some awesome films here. We got 10 to go through. I'll be doing them in alphabetical order as usual, and I'm going to throw in two honourable mentions right at the start. But yeah, this is such a good set of films, and I think there's at least one film on my list, where anybody doing the top 10 40s films has got to have that film on, surely. And I'll point that out when I come to it. So, right, let's get the intro out of the way, and let's get on with these. Right, so as I said, we got 10 films from the 1940s, and I'm going to do two honourable mentions. And as I said, I'm not just saying it because I've picked them, but this is just a really good set of films. And I might have said this with the 50s films as well, but it may be one of them people who doesn't really go back that far, and maybe you just want to check out a few films from the 40s. If any of these sound like your thing, I can guarantee you'll probably like them. They're just a really good set. I mean, I'm just having a quick look at the side of them now. It's just, they're all classics. They're all just... Let's have a look. Everything's above like an 8 out of 10, and I'm not just saying that. I think most of these are above an 8 out of 10, including maybe 3 10 out of 10s, and it's not like me to give films 10 out of 10 unless it's like Barry Lyndon or, Barry Lyndon, basically. So yeah, we're going to get the honourable mentions out of the way first. And for honourable mentions, first one I'm going to go with a horror film called Dead of Night. It's sort of an anthology horror, and I haven't seen that many anthology horrors in my time. But I remember really liking Dead of Night, and I think the main selling point of it, or the main thing that everybody remembers, is Hugo the Dummy, which is one of the stories. Basically, you got these characters that end up in a cottage, and they all start talking about spooky stories, and they start like retelling just spooky stories and experiences that they've had. And as I said, I think the Hugo the Dummy is the famous one, and I think every time I've seen the film for sale, it's usually got Hugo the Dummy on the front, because that's probably the creepiest story out of the lot. Not going to spoil any of the stories, but I will say that if you've seen it, my favourite story out of the lot is the golf one. You got these two characters who are in love with this same woman, and they have a sort of a wager that they're going to play a game of golf, and whoever wins the game of golf gets to ask the woman to marry him. Now, what happens is one guy wins, and the other guy goes and drowns himself and comes back as a ghost to haunt the other guy, and it's just, I loved it. I went into it expecting just to be in awe over the dummy story, because I know that's the one everybody goes on about, but the golf story were like really surprising. I really did enjoy that one. And second honourable mention, and I could kick myself, when I knew I was going to be doing this list, I actually bought this film, and it got here last week, and they sent me the wrong bloody DVD. And when I contacted them for a replacement, they didn't have it in stock. So ideally, this film would have been in my top 10, because I do love it. But I don't want to do a top 10 unless I can actually show the DVD. But I'm going to go with Ozu's Late Spring. I absolutely love that film. I probably like it as much as Tokyo Story at this point. It's really good. I always watch it on BFI Player. But I need to get my ass into gear and really start buying Ozu's films, because he's becoming one of my favourite directors. Late Spring, you got a character called Noriko, I think she's called. And she lives with her dad. Her mum's passed away years ago. And she's quite happy just to live with her dad and look after her dad, because he's like getting on in age. And but what happens is her dad and her friends sort of start to realise that when he passes away, she's not going to be married, and she's not really going to have a job or anything in life. And so they sort of start encouraging her to get married and to maybe get a life of her own. But it's just typical Ozu. It's like your just typical Japanese drama, family life sort of thing. And as I said, I like it as much as Tokyo Story. I'm gutted that I couldn't include it, but like I said, I did try and buy a copy just for this video, because not just for this video, but because I wanted to own it anyway. It's a brilliant film. So yeah, my two honorable mentions are going to go with Dead of Night and Late Spring. Right, let's get to the bulk of them. Let's get on with these. So we got 10 to go through. These are in, as I said, alphabetical order. I feel a little bit guilty because, well, not guilty, but a little bit silly because at least two of these are films that I only saw for the first time this year. But I'd be lying if I didn't include them in a top 10 40s because I really did like these two a lot. So we're going to start with this one. As I said, I only saw this for the first time this year, but I really, really got into this one. I really liked this one. I'll just show it. It's the Bicycle Thieves. Really, really good old classic Italian film. This is about a guy who, in Italy, a lot of the people, I guess in the 40s, were struggling to find work. And this guy, along with tons of other men, are trying to find work. And he just happens to get work as a... His job is to go around putting posters up to advertise different things. But as part of the job, he needs to get a bike. So what he does is he gets the job, he gets guaranteed the job. And I think they go on pawn. Him and his wife go and pawn some like bed sheets or some curtains or something so that they can afford a bike. And on the first day of his shift, the very first shift that he does, he gets a bike stolen. And the rest of the film is him and his son trying to basically reclaim the bike, and it just ends up like absolutely impossible. But yeah, really, it comes up in a lot of the books I've got on like old cinema. This comes up quite a bit, and it took me ages to get round to it finally. And when I did see it earlier this year, I saw what all the fuss were about. I really did enjoy it. There's something about, not just in fiction, but in real life, when you've got men struggling to find work because they've got families to feed. There's just something about it that sort of gets to me. And yeah, this was just a really good film. And just the fact that his son's there, sort of along for the ride as well, makes it even more like a little bit depressing, maybe. But yeah, first up, I'm going to go with The Bicycle Thieves. Really, really good film. Next up, this is what I mean when I said that it's just non-stop like classics. This is an amazing film. This is not the one that I think is going to be on everybody's list, but I predict it's going to be on quite a few people's lists. What can I say about this one? I watched this recently as well for the first time in a long, long time, and I've just seen what's coming up after it as well. God, these are some good films. I'm not joking. Brief Encounter is just one of the best films from the 40s, without a doubt. I saw this when I was in my early 20s, and I think I borrowed it off either a friend of mine or my grandma, or my granddad. I think it were even on VHS tape. And I watched it twice the first time I ever saw it. I watched it the day that I borrowed it, and then I watched it again later on that week. And then a few weeks later, I think I even watched it again, and I'd not seen it in such a long time. And I've had this DVD for quite a while as well, and a couple of weeks ago I thought, you know what? Just going to watch Brief Encounter, and yeah, I probably like it now more than I've ever liked it, and that's saying something because it's just, yeah. So right, Brief Encounter, what's it about? You've got a married woman who ends up she meets a doctor at there's like a cafe at the railway station that she usually uses to get to town and back and whatever, and she sort of accidentally ends up falling in love with this doctor, and like this it's basically an affair, but I mean they don't sleep with each other. They go on like little dates and stuff like that, and obviously her husband's totally unaware. But for the time, like for the 40s, I mean, this would be pretty saucy. I mean, just a married woman going to the cinema with another guy, secretly. It'd have been such a big deal back then. But yeah, it's really, really just 100% a classic film. I cannot recommend this one enough. It's just, yeah. And I think the last time I watched it earlier this year, I liked it more than I've ever liked it. And I don't remember it having that effect on me, but this time that I watched it, there were multiple parts of it that had me, like, I weren't crying, but like I had wet eyes, put it that way. There were like at least 3 or 4 different moments in this where I was just like really gutted, especially for her husband. There's something that he says towards the end, and I can't remember the exact line, but he says something like, "Well, no matter what's been going on, thank you for coming back to me." And when I heard him say that this time, it just totally got me, like really got me. I believe this has actually been remade. I think they remade it in like the 60s or the 70s. I think Blue Roy Movies mentioned it, and he said that it's not too good. I am going to have to see it at some point. I know it's not going to be anything compared to this one, but yeah, Brief Encounter, just amazing. Just really, I don't know, I said it at the start, but if you're one of them people who maybe you don't really go back as far as the 50s and 40s when it comes to films, this is one that I can guarantee you'll like. You'll like all of these, but I mean, this is definitely a standout film from the 40s. It's just mind blowing. Celia Johnson, Trevor Howard. Obviously, I was born in the late 80s. I'm not really too familiar with these two actors, but I can't recommend this enough. I know the term gets overused, but it's just a timeless classic. It's just so relatable even these days. And I think that's just because it's such a good film as well. So yeah, second up, I'm gonna go with Brief Encounter. Next up, wow, this is probably, I think this was the first film I ever saw from the 40s that I really, really got into. You can see where I've pulled a sticker off the front of it and it's all dirty. But yeah, when me and my mates were doing our GCSEs, obviously you didn't have to be there Monday to Friday at school, so you got loads of time off. And one of the days that we had off, me and my mate were just sat there watching TV, and said, "Oh yeah, there's this old film coming on with Richard Attenborough. I might give it a watch." We sat there, and I'm not kidding. This is before I were really into old films as well, and I sat there and we watched this, and my jaw were on the floor. Both of us were just like, just amazed by this film. It's another one. It's just an absolute classic. No doubt this is going to be on some of you guys have got to have this on your list. As I said, this is the first film from the 1940s that I ever saw that I just got totally blown away with. And, oh God, what a film. It's Brighton Rock. I believe it's based on the novel of the same name, but Richard Attenborough is just fantastic in this film. And, yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but some of you'll know what I mean. If you only ever saw this on TV, if you watched it on VHS or DVD, there's a totally different ending to it with the record player. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, I watched this on TV the first time, and it's got sort of like a happy, romantic sort of feel to the end. But if you watch the home video version, it's totally different. There's a bit that they had to cut out when they show it on TV because of what he says to her. And I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, it's a really, really, just really cool British gangster film. And what's Richard Attenborough called? Pinky Brown or something like that? Richard Attenborough is terrifying in this. He reminds me of what's his name? Like a bit like Robert Mitchum in anything really. God, yeah, just such a good film. If you're into gangster films, especially the older ones, this is just fantastic. This is one of those maybe a 10 out of 10. Just there's so many good things I can say about this film. It's just amazing. I remember my granddad being really impressed when I told him that I'd seen this, because I think this were actually one of the first films he ever saw at the cinema. But yeah, you can't go wrong with this. Brighton Rock, I mean, come on, just absolute classic. Next up, this list were actually a little bit easy to make because not just one, but my two favourite Disney films actually came out in the 40s, and so I'm going to go with this one. This is my favourite Disney film of all time. Should need no introduction. I don't think I need to even describe what the film's about. But yeah, all these years later, I still love this film. It's obviously Dumbo. Great film. I like a lot of old Disney, it's got its depressing moments. I mean, there's a bit when Dumbo's mum gets locked up because she beats that annoying ginger kid, and she gets put in that thing and it says Mad Elephant on the outside. I always wonder how they managed to let her out of it, actually, because surely if an elephant attacked somebody, they'd probably just put it to sleep or something. That'd be a different ending. But yeah, Dumbo, the flying elephant with the giant ears, it's such a good film. And this, I mean, I remember the bit when I think it's when they're celebrating Dumbo being a success, and one of the guys who works at the circus throws a bottle of champagne into the bucket of water, and then Dumbo drinks out of it and obviously gets drunk, but it's like he's taking like LSD or something. He sees all this crazy shit, and you get that song, Pink Elephants on Parade, and that bit used to give me nightmares when I was a kid. Like something about the eye, like all the other bit, like the elephant's ice skating and just the pyramid and all the weird shit that you see. I didn't find that scary, but there was something about the bit with the eye in the sky just freaked me the hell out when I was a kid. I had like a bunch of nightmares about that same bit. But yeah, I can't talk about 40 Sons without including my favourite Disney film of all time, Dumbo. Just absolute 10 out of 10 film. Love it. Yeah, it's always going to be my favourite Disney film, I think, now. Amazing. Dumbo. Next up, and this is the one that I'm predicting is going to be on everybody's list. I can't imagine anybody even doing a top 5 40s films and not putting this on. But a top 10, this is, yeah, I think this is going to be on everybody's list, and for a good reason. This is another one of those where if you, as I said, if you don't really go back as far as the 50s, 40s, 30s and all that, and you want to check out a really good old film, you can't go wrong with this. Although the only problem with this is you've sort of got to watch it in December. And it's probably even better to watch it on Christmas Eve. I go and see this at the cinema now every year, along with my favourite Christmas film, which is Muppet Christmas Carol. But yeah, this is my second favourite Christmas film, and I try and see it at Cineworld every year now. My local Cineworlds, yeah, they put it on pretty much every year. Yeah, just another 10 out of 10. Just an absolutely amazing film. I didn't see this until like 5 or 6 years ago for the first time, and it totally blew me away. It's a Wonderful Life. Just amazing. Just one of the best Christmas films ever. If you've not seen this, like, honestly, just get on eBay, pick it up, give it a watch in December. It is just amazing. How do I describe It's a Wonderful Life? So you've got James Stewart's character who works for a bank, and a load of money goes missing, and he considers jumping off a bridge and committing suicide, and in fact he goes to do it, but an angel is sent down to stop him from dying, and then what the angel does is he sort of, like in A Christmas Carol where Scrooge does like the whole Ghost of Christmas Past thing and he gets to see his life and what it was like. This angel takes James Stewart's character back throughout his life, and he sort of shows him what the world, especially Bedford Falls where he lives. The angel goes back and shows him what life would have been like if it hadn't been for him and if he'd had never been born, which is, I think he says like he wishes he'd never been born or something like that. And like, yeah, the angel just shows him what life would have been like if his character hadn't existed, and there's like all sorts of shit that had gone wrong, like there's when he were a kid, he worked in a pharmacy, and there were a mix-up with medication, and some kid could have nearly died. There were a time where he saved a kid from drowning in like an ice in a lake during December when it was like freezing cold. And yeah, there's just all sorts of stuff that had gone wrong if James Stewart's character had never been born. And yeah, it's just a really good feel-good film, especially at the end. If you've ever read that thing, your grandparents might have said it a few times, where they say every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. That's from this. And I tell you how good this film is. My sister works in a care home, and a few Christmases ago, she actually took all the elderly folk on like a day trip to the cinema to see this, and my sister had never seen it. Bear in mind, my sister was born in like 1990 or something, so she's a little bit younger than me. And it just shows you how good this film is. Like, this film's from like the 1940s, but yet my sister, who's not even into old films, she didn't just like this, it moved her to tears. It was so good. Yeah, apologies if I did a really crappy job at explaining It's a Wonderful Life, but yeah, I watch this every December now. It's an amazing film. Just watch it, buy it, get it on eBay. It's probably like £3. Buy it, get it ready for December, and just try and slip it in somewhere in your December film list, because if you've never seen it, you will not regret it. Next up, so we've had my favourite Disney film of all time. Now we've got my second favourite Disney film of all time, which is also from the 40s. And again, I don't think this needs any introduction, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. It's Pinocchio, amazing film, really love it. And it's got one of my favourite bits there on the front with the whale monstro. There's a bit where Pinocchio ends up getting swallowed by the whale, and what does he do? Then he build a fire to make smoke so that the whale sneezes and it makes that awful sound. That really weird, like, yeah, that freaked me out a little bit as a kid as well. A bit like the bit in Dumbo. But yeah, I always liked Pinocchio a lot. There's loads of different versions of Pinocchio. There were even the TV show, which I don't think it were even by Disney or by Dick or whatever they were called, DIC. I think people used to joke that those that DIC used to stand for Did It Cheap or something like that. Yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it because you all know Pinocchio. Amazing. Second favourite Disney film of all time. Really good. I like how you've got like more. I love the bit when the bit where Pinocchio starts turning bad and he's playing snooker with those other bad kids and he's like drinking and smoking, and you know the bit with Jiminy Cricket and he's like, what does he say? Go ahead, laugh, be a jackass, or something like that. And Pinocchio gets like, he turns like green and his eyes go all weird, and yeah, he literally just turns into a jackass with the turns into the little donkey sort of thing. Yeah, amazing. I love it. Pinocchio. Long time no see, actually. I need to watch this soon. Next up, and I just realised that both the Hitchcock films I'm going to go with back to back. So, yeah, alphabetical order. We're going to go with this one first, and this is actually probably my favourite Alfred Hitchcock film out of all of them. And I don't think it's one that many people say is the favourite one. I think people tend to go with, like, you know, like Vertigo, North by Northwest, Psycho, which I think I'm one of the only horror fans who doesn't actually like Psycho that much. But this, I love this film. This one blew me away when I saw it, and I didn't even know at the time that it were based on a true story. But yeah, it's Rope by Alfred Hitchcock. Really, really good film. This is about two guys who they kill somebody and they see if they can throw a party with the corpse in the same room. It's sort of like in a chest. They put the body in a chest and they put like a cover over it, and I think they put the drinks or the food on it or something like that. And they sort of just challenge themselves to see whether they can throw a party with the corpse in the room. Now, there's lots of clever stuff with this as well. As I said, I didn't know until one of you guys did a video on it that this were actually based on a true story, and that apparently there's like 3 or 4 different films about the same story. And allegedly the two guys were actually secretly like gay or something. Because I remember Hitchcock saying, after I watched this, I went and watched a couple of things on it, which is weird because I should have learned there and then that it were based on a true story, but somehow didn't. I watched some things in it. I remember Alfred Hitchcock saying something like, if it were just about two guys hiding a body in a room at a party, it wouldn't have been interested. And if it were just about two gay guys who were like in the closet or whatever, or like in a secret relationship, then he still wouldn't have been interested. But the combination of the two, because it's like you've got James Stewart, who is I think he's like their teacher, and there's bits where it's implied that he's sort of onto him, and he gets what's going on. But when you're watching it, it's like you're always thinking, well, does he mean that he knows that they've got a dead body there somewhere, or does he know that they're both gay? And it's like, it's really clever how it plays out. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Rope. Easily my favourite Alfred Hitchcock film. To be fair, I've only seen about 6 or 7 Hitchcock films, but I'd be surprised if I ever like one more than this. Like I said, it was just the cleverness of it where, I know I've just said it, I'll just say it again, the bit where James Stewart is like onto him, and you're not sure whether it's the body or the fact that he knows that there's something going on between them both. It's just really, really clever. I loved it. So yeah, I'm going to go with Rope, Alfred Hitchcock. Next up, again, another Hitchcock film, and this is, along with The Bicycle Thieves, this is another one that I only saw for the first time this year, and I got recommended this and Strangers on a Train, and I bought this with Strangers on a Train, and the only reason I didn't do a pickups video is because I only bought like 3 or 4 DVDs, and I figured, well, there's no point me doing a video showing 4 pickups. So I watched Strangers on a Train, really, really did like it, but I preferred this one, and I don't know, again, like the thing with Rope, like, I don't know if I'm in the minority who prefers this one to Strangers on a Train. The thing with Strangers on a Train, while we're talking about it, I loved it, I thought it were great, but I just thought this were like way more realistic. And so, yeah, I feel a bit cheeky going with this, because like I said, I only saw it for the first time this year. But this one really did blow me away. I really enjoyed this one, and it's another one of those where, even though I only watched it a few weeks ago, I'm already just dying to watch it again. And it's an excellent film called Shadow of a Doubt. This is about a guy called Charlie, or we'll call him Uncle Charlie, and he just suddenly decides to go and visit his family, and his niece is like really, you can tell she like really looks up to him. Now, Charlie is got a reason to be traveling and moving around because you get the impression that he's like most likely a murderer and that the detectives are sort of on his case. And yeah, so you've got his niece who is like absolutely obsessed with him. You can tell she really looks up to him. She's buzzing the fact that he's come to stay with the family for a while. But then she slowly starts to realize there's like, I don't want to spoil it, but there's like little things that happen and little things that she finds out, and including detectives showing up at the house, and they claim to be doing like a survey or something, but it's clear that they're just detectives because they're just really nosy. And so yeah, she really looks up to her uncle, and the film is basically her coming to the realization that he's most likely a killer. Not just a killer, but like a serial killer that's in the news everywhere. And yeah, he even tries to kill her off at one point. It's crazy. But yeah, I really liked it. And another thing I liked about this as well were you got the guy who played the angel from It's a Wonderful Life. And considering that they've got like an actual murderer in the house, they don't know it, obviously. But there's loads of parts where there's these two old guys who are always talking about how to get away with like the perfect murder, and I just thought that was just pure Hitchcock. It was just really, really good. Yeah, another one that I'd really like strongly recommend. Just excellent film. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I can't really. I want to get around to watching it again soon because I really enjoyed this one. Shadow of a Doubt. Next up, and something I've just realised, or something I didn't realise until just now, that there is only one horror film in all these, which is strange because I do like 40s horror films. There's a bunch of good ones, but this is easily my favourite horror film from the 1940s. In fact, this might be one of my favourite Universal monster films. It's always a toss-up between this and The Invisible Man. I like this and I like The Invisible Man about equal. It's hard to say which one I've watched the most. It's hard to say which one I prefer, but I'm going to go with this one. It's just classic. This one blew me away the first time I saw it years and years and years ago. And it's only a PG, but I mean, it's such a good film. It's The Wolfman. And I remember watching this after I got into Lon Chaney and Lon Chaney Jr. like big time. I remember watching a shitload of documentaries about him. Yeah, just one day I decided I'm going to buy a few of the films, and yeah, this is Lon Chaney Jr., I believe. So not the Lon Chaney who was in what were he in? Phantom of the Opera, Hunchback of Notre Dame. I got a bunch of his films actually. He was known as a Man of 1,000 Faces. This is his son, Lon Chaney Jr., who is just as good, really good actor. And yeah, it's one of the original werewolf films, if not the first, maybe. It's just, yeah, chock full of like symbolism. Just really, really good film. Can't recommend this one enough. Like I said, when it comes to Universal monsters, for me, it's between this and The Invisible Man. I would have gone with The Invisible Man, but obviously that's like 1938, something like that. But yeah, I really like this. Even the, like, obviously it's a big thing in werewolf films. Everybody makes a big deal about the transformation scenes. Like, if you think of American Werewolf in London with the bit with the hand and the transformation scene, basically. The one in this is like, I mean, it's fairly old and it's fairly obvious how they did it, but I like it. It's sort of like just images that are displayed over each other, and with each image, Lon Chaney's got like a little bit more fur, a little bit more makeup until he's like fully transformed into the Wolfman. But yeah, I really liked this one. It's just absolute classic horror film. That's The Wolfman. And last but definitely not least, this is a classic. This is so good, this film. I know I've said that about a few of them, but this is just something else, this film. So one day, a long time ago, I was looking for a film on Netflix, and I just wanted to watch something old. And I saw that they had this, and it was by Fritz Lang, who did Fritz Lang do Metropolis? I think he did. Let me just check. Yeah, of course he did. How did I forget that? So yeah, I wanted to see more things by Fritz Lang, and this showed up on Netflix, and I still haven't seen that many films by Fritz Lang. Did Fritz Lang do the film called M as well? I'll put yes or no up at the bottom. I'm sure he did that film called M with that guy with the round head. He's got like a really round face. I can't remember his name. So yeah, I came across this by accident, and it went on to be easily become one of my favourite 40s films. And it's another one, I know I've said it a bunch, but if you've not seen this one, I can't recommend this one enough. It is an amazing film. It's just, yeah, as it says on the front, the screen's supreme adventure in suspense. This is amazing. I showed a friend of mine this, the same one who recommended me Shadow of a Doubt. I showed him this a few years ago and he was blown away by it as well. It's an amazing film. I know they have remade it. I'm not too fussed about seeing the remake. But this original film, oh my god, this blew me away. This is a film called The Woman in the Window. You got a guy there who is a college teacher, and I think he's away on like a work trip or something. And he sees a painting of a woman in a window, and he becomes like obsessed with her. And then he actually meets the woman, and he sort of has a bit of an affair with her. But then, and I don't want to spoil anything, but one thing leads to another, and he ends up basically, it's very Hitchcock. He ends up basically involved in a murder, partly to protect the woman. I don't want to spoil anything. I got to be careful what I say about this one. But yeah, he ends up basically disposing of a corpse, and the police are on his case, but like one of the main inspectors who's sort of investigating the murder is one of his friends. And like there's even bits where he takes him to the crime scene, and oh, it's just so good. But what I will say about this is the first time I saw it, it's a weird one with the ending, and if you've seen it you know what I mean. Now, in general, I didn't like the ending that much. It's a bit of a cop-out ending, and I don't want to spoil the ending, but the first time I saw it, I just remember thinking, like, is that it? Is that the ending? After all we've been through with this film, is that really going to be the ending? But it's a case of, like, it's a crap ending. I don't like the ending. As for the viewer, for us, the ending's a bit of a cop-out, like I said. But for the main character, the ending is a blessing. Like, it is an absolute blessing, and I don't want to spoil it. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. As a viewer, the ending is just, I wish it was something different. I wish it was something better. I wish it weren't so much as a just cop-out is the only way to say it. But for the main character, it's a good job that it ends that way, because otherwise it could have been in so much shit. But yeah, honestly, for a film from the 40s, this is so just, it's tense. Like, from maybe like even 20 minutes into the film, it's just so tense. It's very Hitchcock as well. It's very, very Hitchcock. It's probably very Fritz Lang. I don't know. Like I said, I've only seen about 4 of the guy's films. But yeah, just amazing film. Really, really good. I love that film. That's The Woman in the Window. So that brings us to the end. I'm just going to do a very quick recap, and then we're going to get on with tagging, because I won't show who wanted to be tagged. I don't know how many people that I watch and who watch me really go back as far as the 40s and 50s and stuff like that, but a few of you do want to be tagged, so I'm going to tag you in a second. So just a quick recap, and I'll start playing that music in the background like I usually do. We had The Bicycle Thieves, absolute excellent Italian film. We have Brief Encounter, 10 out of 10, amazing, just see it. If you've not seen it, you need to see it. You really need, as a film fan, you need to see it. Brighton Rock, one of the greatest gangster films of all time. Dumbo, my favourite Disney film of all time. It's a Wonderful Life. If it weren't for Muppet Christmas Carol, this would be my favourite Christmas film, but I've got a lot of... I'm just very attached to Muppet Christmas Carol, let's put it that way. Pinocchio, again, one of my favourite, my second favourite Disney film, just amazing, love it.
Go ahead, be a jackass.
Rope, possibly my favourite Hitchcock film. Maybe by the time I've seen way more Hitchcock films, something might replace it, but I've seen Vertigo, I've seen North by Northwest. I've seen Psycho, which I just think is so overrated, it's unbelievable. For now, my favourite Hitchcock film. Maybe my second favourite Hitchcock film, Shadow of a Doubt. Excellent. Amazing horror film, The Wolfman. And finally, the film that I tried to describe to you without spoiling anything, because it's one of those films you really want to go into blind. Can you say that? Apparently you're not allowed to say that anymore, so... It's the sort of film you're best going into without knowing anything about it. And like I said, the ending, it's... You've heard what I had to say about it. I mean, it's a cop-out, but for the main character, it's just the best ending that you could expect for him. It's the real, like, for him, look at his little face. For him, it's a great ending, trust me. So yeah, I'm going to do some tagging. Now, let me just get my list up, because, in fact, I don't have a list. I need to go check my post to see who wanted to be tagged. So I'll join you in 2 seconds. Okay, so we had 2 people who wanted to be tagged, so I'm going to go and tag Muckman Movies, who I really enjoyed watching his top 50s films, so that's going to be, I'd be interested to see what Muckman goes with for his 40s. I'm sure that'll be a good list. And the other person who wanted to be tagged, who I knew would want to be tagged anyway, is Stuart George. Again, his 50s video was really fucking good, so I'm expecting some good stuff from Stuart and Muckman. And he hasn't asked to be tagged, and I think he's doing a video anyway, but do you know what? I'm just going to tag him anyway. Blue Roy Movies. I'm pretty sure that he said, I watched him on a live stream the other day, and I think he said that his 40s video is going to be coming soon. So again, I can't, like, Muckman, Stuart George, and Blue Roy Movies, I can't wait to see what you guys go with for your 40s, because, yeah, it's just, yeah, can't wait. It's going to be cool, and no doubt, I mean, I know I've already said it, and I could be wrong, but I mean, everybody's going to have this. Come on, you can't do 40s without It's a Wonderful Life, come on. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. I have been Real Talk Yorkshire. That has been me probably doing a piss poor job of describing a bunch of films from the 40s. Until next time, keep calm and keep collecting.